Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. MixLR stands for mixliveradio.com/wakeupcalldt. That's the feed you can get all around the world. We've had listeners in Italy, Germany, China, Spain, England, Mexico, Canada, our neighbors to the north, the nicer people. So we've had all of that going on. So we appreciate all of you, especially Central and Upstate New York, Northeast PA, the East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. Thank you to everybody. This is Enrico Mastroianni. We're Facebook Live as well, facebook.com/live-now-dt. And Enrico and I are going to be in The Godfather Part 4. And we are here today to make that announcement. We're also here to talk about Marywood University Pacers men's basketball. He is the head coach in year number 4. Enrico, how are we doing today?
Doing well today, Dan. Very excited, especially for our women. It was a great atmosphere last night, and great to see them, get to that next round and a convincing win, which was awesome.
And as I said before, when you sat next to me, that's when I got louder.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I can get a little animated while I'm.
Well, the thing is, because I was saying some stuff, and you were kind of quiet, and I was going, I don't really like that call. I don't really like what I just saw there. And I was the one talking, and you were quiet. Yeah. And then we both got to a point where neither one of us was quiet, like the whole fourth quarter. Whole fourth quarter.
I think it was when they started getting pressured, and it was a little tenuous at times. Like it looked like we weren't sure if we were going to be able to break the pressure. And the one possession I remember, we got a couple skip passes, and then eventually, the defense was in a scramble, and there was a kick out to Araya on the wing, and she knocked down that three, and it was like the whole place erupted. It was an awesome experience. We knew at that point, I felt at that point it was over. We had it.
Yeah, and you had said that to me during the game, and our favorite part of the game, besides the win, was the no, go. No. It sounds like you know Kevin Hart, where his dad goes to, like, his dad came to see him somewhere, and he goes, no. He wasn't ready. So like that moment, that no, go. Every time we heard that, you laughed and you go, I love that guy.
Yeah, that was one of our super fans there in the crowd. He an old timer, comes to the games, and
every shot that went up for the other team. Every single shot. Yeah. No, go.
We happened to be in close proximity. It was fun. Yeah. It was amusing.
I think I'm going to do that in the Syracuse Duke game. No, go. So I love it. I'm really happy that we got Gabby off the air before she could talk about Duke.
Yeah. That would put you in a bad spot.
I know she's coming back, though. I know we have to do our final segment, and so I know that she's going to do something because we talked about it last night.
Okay.
After the game, we had a little conversation. But shout out to your better half, who is a Syracuse fan. A Syracuse fan. Yes.
Tough circumstance.
I love that. Because now, okay, did you accidentally summon me? Siri, I never talk to her. I never have a conversation with her, ever. She records me every couple days, and she'll record me in paragraphs.
How about that?
So I believe that there is a shadow government, and Siri's a part of it. I know that it's true. I told you about the time. Did I tell you about when I asked Alexa to do something for me, and she didn't know how to do it, but she gave me this really weird response. So HP has Cortana.
Okay.
And then there's Alexa. They don't like Siri. Okay. Siri's that girl that they don't mess with. They don't hang around with Siri. Like, she's on her own doing her thing. See, I said her name like 100 times, and she doesn't turn on. So I asked Alexa, I said, Alexa, can you tell me, I don't know, I asked her something about looking something up. And I said, Alexa, it was something to me, I don't know, Alexa, can you tell me about Syracuse basketball, whatever. And she said, I don't know that information. Would you like me to get Cortana for you? And I went, y'all talk to it? Like, you know that each other exists? Like, that's artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
right.
Friends.
So, yeah.
It's a click. They're clicky.
Yeah. So Cortana and Alexa, they're tight. But Siri dated Alexa's boyfriend, and Cortana wasn't having it, so we are where we are today. There's a little rift.
Okay.
So, yeah, do you have an Alexa?
No, we have a Google.
Oh, you have a Google.
Yeah, I don't even have an iPhone. I'm actually the only one in America that doesn't have an iPhone, I think.
I never wanted one, but I had an HTC Incredible that broke like 3 times.
I used to have an iPhone.
System.
I had an iPhone for years, and then like most people, it either smashed or dropped in some kind of liquid or something, and then I had to switch it up. And it was at a time when, you know, the Samsung Galaxy had just come out, and people were raving about it, how awesome it was.
Yeah. So you just weren't a responsible adult.
Well, I had a circumstance, but anyhow,
It's okay.
I started using the Galaxy, and it just kind of felt like I liked it better. You know, I just went with it, and I never went back to the iPhone since. My players ridicule me about it every day.
Do you ever throw? You could be honest about this because I'll tell a story. Have you ever thrown your phone?
No.
I did as a freshman. I had a flip phone, and I threw my phone toward my door, and my phone hit. See, this is God's humor. There's a doorstop. There's nothing by the door. My phone goes toward the door and hooks, like trajectory, just goes straight to the door and hits the doorstop open.
Oh, boy.
That's how it hit. And I was like, I mean, I didn't break it because the flip phones back in the day were like more durable.
Oh, yeah, it was like a tank, a little mini tank.
Yeah, so, but I remember that was like that day I did throw the phone.
Yeah.
I did that. Yeah, I've had the coaching. I told you, I said I might have gotten teed up yesterday if I was a coach. There's a chance I may. See, I won't swear, but I have the same cadence as Gabby Holko.
Okay.
I think they would hear me a lot. So I would, but my thing is, you want to kind of, if it's really bad, I might stomp my foot and make a little statement.
Right.
But I like the sneaky one. I like the officials going by and me going, if that was a screen, I expect to go outside and see it raining blood.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in hell that's real. It'd be like, I mean, I would be the guy who, like, if there's a free throw being shot and the official standing on the sideline, I would just whisper in his ear, and I would be like, I love the game you're watching. Please tell me what channel it's on, because it's not this one.
Great.
You know, I'm on channel 3. You're on 5 or 9. Is what I would say to him. So I mean, I think I would have fun with it. I would at least try to make them laugh a little bit. I don't want them to hate me.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got to pick and choose. I talked to Coach Q about this. He said you have to pick and choose your spots.
Right. And I've learned over the years, I mean, I think there's things that you could say and get away with, and then there's things that kind of toe the line.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone over the line, I think, sometimes, and sometimes on purpose. You know, sometimes you just need
Is it strategic, though?
Yeah, I think for me it is anyway. I think arguing calls is one thing, but whining and complaining is something totally different. And I think referees get tired of that. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear from you so much. So when I'm pretty tactical about what I complain about and argue, and it's more so within the moment, about a specific call and a rule. I always try to reference a rule if I can. You know, was that freedom of movement? Was that, was that guy stationary when he tried to take that charge? You know, was he inside the arc? Little things like that. I know what my opinion is of it, but I want to make sure that he reiterates his, so we can get on the same page with it.
So you essentially you ask him to explain to you what you already know.
What I already know, yeah.
Yeah. Could you tell me what this is? Because I'm so stupid, I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand the rule. Yeah, I mean, there's always, I mean, it's like when you pretend to be lost on, like, okay, I'm not going to say where I was because I want to still be able to park here. But there's a place that I go to that I used to work at. It's a very big place, maybe the happiest place on earth. And there was a way to park in the front.
Okay.
And when I had worked there, I could always park in the front because there was nobody monitoring the front. So they've kind of cracked down a little bit more, and they have somebody at this little island, little umbrella. And I said, okay, I'm going to try and park here again because I don't want to park 72 rows down. I want to park right in the front, and I know that I can, and I've done it for years. So I went in, and I said, if there's somebody there, I'm just going to play stupid. As I said, the person sat with me. I said, listen, I'm going to be the dumb tourist, so just prepare for that.
Okay.
So I went up, and sure enough, there's a lady there, and she's like, hi, do you have your ID badge? And I go, ID badge? I go, I have my annual pass. And she goes, no. I was like, is this the entrance? And she goes, it's not. And I go, oh, I feel so stupid. I'm trying to find the entrance, and I think I made a mistake. I mean, is there a better way to go? And she goes, yeah, if you hook right around, you can just take a left. And I go, oh, thank you so much. I go, it's crazy. I'm from New York. I don't know these parts. I lived down there. I worked at the place. I knew everything, but you have to play the dumb tourist sometimes, and you have to, ask the official to educate you a little bit.
Sometimes, you get away with some things for just sake of ignorance.
And sometimes you have to do it. Right. So just what you could say, I mean, you have playoff basketball coming up.
Yeah.
When we talk about number 2 seeds and we talk about first round buys and being at home, this is relatively uncharted territory. I mean, this is a new era of Marywood basketball, and I want to give respect to Eric Grunman, and him and I got to know each other very well and built a relationship over the years. And with what you're doing here in year number 4 is reputable. And you know that in the beginning when the team was winning 5-6 games, that I told you, Enrico, I'm not worried.
Right.
And 15 and now 16 and counting.
And I wasn't worried either. I mean, obviously, the losing is not fun. That's hard on everybody. It's hard on the university. It's hard on the staff. It's hard on the players and, the community. But, I always had kind of a vision in place, and we've talked about it. We've been very clear about it. I've talked to the players about it. I've talked to administration about it. We've made sure everybody understands that this was a process we had to go through. You kind of have to go take your lumps a little bit along the way until you could get to where you want to be. Yeah. And, recruiting is the main thing. You and I have talked about that quite a bit, Dan, and what we've done to try to build this team and make sure that it's not just success in the moment, but sustained success. Sustained success I define by, being competitive year after year, whether you are in a first round bye as a 2 seed or 1 seed, or, you're just barely making the playoffs. At least you're competing year after year, game after game. And that's the main goal for us.
And when you see, this team at this point in the season and everything, I mean, you played a very close one.
Yeah.
At Glen and Mercy, and you had an opportunity to win it, and unforeseen, out of your control circumstances happen. Right. How have you seen the team since then? Because as I told you, this team has depth. There's multiple shooters. Right. We have seen Roden take over games. We've seen Ringland take over games. I mean, you have so many, Cockrell. You have so many different players on this team that are capable. That with this, without this, or if this guy goes out of the game or whatever happens, this team should know that the heart of the team is in the sum of its people.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we were realizing that, last night we had practice, and the circumstance you're referring to. Obviously, it's not a big secret. Tip Swartz, our best player, went down with an injury in the game Saturday, and it affected the play. I mean, it affected the game and the outcome. We weren't ready for that moment, obviously. We will be now. Whether he can play for us moving forward or not, we're going to be ready for that. And the guys have rallied around it. The guys are locked in. They're focused. We stayed for the women's game last night. We participated in the whiteout, and afterwards they got their practice gear on. We went in the gym and we practiced. And it was a high energy, high effort, really laser sharp focused practice.
And I want to put a picture up here right now that I took when I was in your locker room after speaking with the team. And that picture is something that you posted when Marywood was picked to finish tied for last place in the Atlantic East Conference. And not only did I take the picture, but as I told Brendan Murphy, I am taking the picture with my Marywood ring to remind people that not only was this wonderful BS that gives a chip on your shoulder and helps you to do what you need to do. And I would love to get, I mean, I feel like I got picked last a lot in life, and I love that because I feel like the people that get picked last that respond positively with faith and determination and hard work and effort and enthusiasm and comedy and positivity, we get picked last, and it makes being first so much sweeter. And so not only did I take this picture, but I took it with my Marywood ring as a proud alum to say thank you to all of those people that thought nothing of this team. And I hope that all of your players and coaches go through and put their hand on this when they walk through, because it's great to have 16 wins. It's great to have a first round bye. It's great to have playoffs at home, but it's even better when you get to look at that sheet of paper every day.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we find motivation in a lot of things. I mean, the main thing for us is that we try to be the best version of us every day, and each individual player, like you said, the sum of its parts is really the most important thing. And together, we're a pretty good team. I mean, no matter who we have running out there. You mentioned a few guys, and I think the one thing that's carried us through this season so well is our bench, the strength of our bench. I mean, the guys that come in off the bench and make an impact in a game and just really light a match for us. And, we don't get to where we are without everyone. We have star players, star power, but, we have role guys, we have bench guys, we have, guys that are coming off the bench that could be starters on several teams. And they're well aware of that, and so are we as a staff. But the ultimate message, I think, is we're here to win. And that's really what matters to everybody, is as long as we win, when guys play, where guys play, or if they don't play or do play, it shouldn't really matter, because we are one unit, one group that has put in all the time, dedication, sacrifice, commitment to this goal, to that end. And, it's been pretty special so far.
Speaking here with Enrico Mastroianni, Marywood Pacers men's basketball head coach, mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, wakeupcalldt.com, and live on Facebook, facebook.com/live-now-DT. And to look at what you have ahead of you, just what you can say about staying locked in, staying bought in, how the team's response has been, because historically they're not used to winning. So to be a part of this and know that they're setting history, to know that 15 wins ties a record in a season, and then back-to-back at least 15, that is a new record, and then 16 is a new record.
Mm-hmm.
So they've set all these records. What can you say about them staying bought in, staying focused, and not being complacent with, we've already made history?
Right. Well, I think the beauty of it is that they could care less.
That's awesome.
I mean that in the most sincere way. Our guys are so locked in and focused that, none of that stuff really matters to them. Most of the guys on this team have never been a part of any losing, and so to them, they don't really know anything other than winning, and that's how we expect to keep it. I think the main thing for me and what we realize as a staff is that as long as these guys don't want it to end, it won't. As long as we have this drive and motivation to keep playing together, keep winning together, then we'll keep doing that. And we believe in that. Whatever the future holds, we don't know, but we feel pretty good about our chances to be at home and have our home crowd. We're 10-1 at home, and we like playing here. So hopefully, give us one more chance to get another game and go from there.
Being at home, being 10-1, just taking care of the Insulaco Arena, just how important that was to you. I mean, every team of every sport says, home is home, and you got to take care of home, because the road is tough no matter what sport you play.
Sure.
But just what you could say about winning 10 of 11.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, we obviously most teams feel comfortable at home. You don't have to travel. Your schedule is a little bit, I guess, more comfortable for you. Think about our travel, our distance. We're the furthest team away, us and Marymount, opposite ends. And so every trip for us is a legitimate trip. So playing on the road is a little bit harder. But I think, to be successful as a program, you also have to win some road games and road games against playoff teams. And, we did that too. I think you got to have the right combination of things. And, the home record is definitely something that we're very proud of. But it's not everything. We've got to be good all around.
And it's 0-0 at home.
Right.
Now that we're in the playoffs.
That's right.
What can you say about the guys that have stepped up leadership-wise this season? Who are the ones that you can lean on? Because there's so much of the conversation about Tip, and he's a leader on or off the court, I should say. Whether he's on the sideline or not, whether he's in the game or not, I think that, him and I had a conversation practice yesterday, and we just sat together, and I told him, I said, you guys got this, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing and whatever's happening, they have you, you have them, and you're deciding your destiny.
Right.
And this team is still a team, the sum of its parts, no matter what happens. Outside of Tip, who are those other guys that you feel like you can lean on?
I mean, can't say enough about our point guard play has been tremendous. I mean, Donovan Catchings, Tone Cockrell, they're our 1-2 punch. They're my thunder and lightning. I mean, they honestly, they complement each other so well, and they bring in a different style. You know, they complement each other in a way that is almost opposing. You know, Donovan is our big, you know, strong physical point guard, and Tone is more elusive and you know, somewhat flashy and you know, effective and manufactures points. You know, and they're just really complement each other well. Zach Tinkham is a tremendous asset to our program, and I know the numbers are not what he'd like them to be, and they, you know, they don't necessarily seem to be indicative of a starting 2 guard, but I mean, what he does with communication, what he does with defense, his effort, his intensity, and leadership. I mean, Zach Tinkham is a kid that came from a high school that I think he won 25 games as a senior and maybe lost in the state championship. You know, he's been on winning teams, and that's because of him. It's not in spite of him. So he's done a great job to help lead us.
Is he always smirking?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Yeah, no, he's kind of he was a different breed.
Because I look at him and I looked at him after the last home game that you had for the regular season, and because you said, you know, guys, behave yourself, celebrate, be smart, you know, you do what a coach says, and I looked at him and I go, hey, behave yourself, and he said, always, and he gave me that smirk, and then I told him he came over and saw me going in. I said, I'm staying for your practice. He goes, all right, good. I was like, why do you always look like you did something? But I have the same smirk. Like, my mom would do that, or like anybody. And this, historically, anyone I dated ever, you know me, you know what I'm about. I could never cheat. I could never lie. I couldn't do any of that stuff. I always smirk. No, I have a good poker face, but I always smirk. And somebody will say so, and I'll just be sitting there with this like smile on my face, and they're like, what did you do? And I'm like, I don't know yet. Something. But I mean, he always had those eyes. He'll kind of look at you, and I'll go, hey, he's like, good. Yeah. It's going to be all right. I was like, what did you do? Like, I feel like, did you put somebody's cat in the trash can? What happened?
You know, sometimes I look at him and you know, we have to wonder what is really going on
in his head.
What's really going on in there? And then I realize I don't really want to know, so I just kind of stop worrying about it and just take it as that's Tink. You know, that's who he is. But the funny part about that is that I think for a player-coach relationship, you know, we're pretty locked in together. You know, he and I have the same mind. He's going to be a brilliant coach someday. I think that's something that he aspires to do. So we've spent a lot of time together in those moments, talking coaching and talking strategy. And I mean, there were even games when he came to me, not even in the game, from the bench, and he's like, Coach, I think if we run this, we can get this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, let's do it. And we did it. And I'm going over to him on the bench, shaking his hand, saying, good job, good call. You know, so it's really special when you have players that can speak to you on that level. The other guy I didn't mention that I can't neglect is Jeremy Ringland. And Jeremy, you know the story. I mean, he played his first year as a freshman for the previous coaching staff. And then my first year here, he took the year off. They focused on school and work, and decided he missed it, came back for his sophomore eligibility year, junior year of academics, and played the last 2 years of his undergraduate career. So he had a year of eligibility left, and, you know, basically had been telling me halfway through his senior year that he was not going to play his 5th year. So I stopped pressuring him about it, kind of left it alone. Throughout the summer, we talked periodically. He wasn't sure what he was doing. Finally, he decided to come back and be a grad assistant here at Marywood, but he still wasn't convinced he was going to play. And again, just gave him some distance, let him go, let him figure some things out. I guess it was late September, early October, he came to me and he just said, Coach, I know that if I don't play, I'm going to regret it. So I really want to figure out how to do this, but I'm worried about the schedule. I mean, Jeremy works 15 to 20 hours a week at a department store. He's an RA. He has been for 4 straight years. He is a graduate student and a graduate assistant that he works 20 hours a week in the business department.
So he does a couple things.
He does a couple things, and he's carrying a 3.9 GPA.
And he's a 6'6" guy who can hit threes.
And he's 4th in the country in block shots.
And he was 100% from threes in your regular season finale this season. and he dunks very very beautifully. If I can add that
He
from
is a good
practice.
dunker, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I would like to switch bodies with him for a minute or two. Like maybe God will let our souls flip for one dunk in the upcoming game.
It's like the Freaky Friday movie, right?
Yeah,
So,
I just want to. And then when we realize that we appreciate our lives and I want to be 5'8" for the rest of my life, then we'll switch back. But I want to dunk. He had one where he just put it over his head with his right hand, and you cheered him on after that. And I saw it and I was just like, to be Jeremy Ringland just for that moment.
Just for that moment.
Yeah, I will dunk before I die. I can dunk on a 9-foot rim at 5'8", and that's a win.
That's a win, for
right?
sure. Yeah,
I can dunk on a 9-foot, regulations
Enjoy
10.
it while you can, because as you get older, you won't be able to do that anymore.
Well, I need someone to pick me up and let me dunk. So I don't know if after this you and Gabby want to, we just want to like make a human giant person, but I need to see what I used to do in the old gym to dunk is I would grab the middle of the net and I'd pull myself up and I'd have my buddy throw me the ball, and then we would video camera me dunking, but I was hanging up there for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get Jeremy to lift you up.
Yeah. Make me. I always tell the SU guys like Roosevelt Bowie and Dale Shackelford, I was like, can we just make one giant person for the day? Can I be 9 foot? Can I do that? See, because my dad's 6 foot, and I look tall when I'm next to my dad.
Yeah.
My mom is 4'11".
Right.
So I always thanked my mom because she put me right in the middle. And 5'8", I mean, it's a good height. I want to dunk, and I'm sad that have you ever dunked?
Rattle dunk back in the day, way long ago. So yeah. Never really fully.
Gabby, have you dunked? I love that. I love that every day. I do it right before I did it before I came in.
My best dunks of late are Oreo cookies and milk. So yeah,
I love that.
Nothing else.
Well, how about this? Because I got asked this question, and one of my longtime listeners is going to love this. Oreos are amazing.
Yeah.
Are the Wegmans version of Oreos the same? Are they just as good or no?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Gabby, are Wegmans Oreos as good as regular?
Know about that.
You don't eat any sweets. None.
We got to convert her. Yeah.
Why?
We're gonna have to convert.
We're gonna talk about that in the last segment. I don't eat any sweet. It must be nice to say that. And normally people are lying when they say that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't deny it. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've never had a donut. I don't know what donuts are. I'm not. But that's a sweet. It's a breakfast food.
That's my theory on if there's fruit in a dessert, it's not really dessert.
There you go.
It's something healthy.
Yeah, like if you have cheesecake, but you put one raspberry,
strawberry, whatever,
on the top, then it's your daily intake of fruit.
It's not dessert. I could eat it any time of the day. Yeah.
Right. And see, my thing is, and this is my go-to for Runkin' Honuts, and until they decide to promote the show, I am not promoting them. By the way, Runkin' Honuts, you need to work on this. Because the caramel swirl in here, there's too much tea, not enough caramel. So Runkin' Honuts, look, fix it, make it better. And I can say that because you're not a sponsor. So, and if Harbucks wants to call me, since Runkin' Honuts can't get it right, I'll talk to Harbucks. But the reality of it all is I'm a chocolate chip muffin guy from Runkin' Honuts. Every Friday, John and Jordan that do the show with me, they bring me a tea into my studio and a chocolate chip muffin, and their chocolate chip muffins are wonderful. And I guess that counts as breakfast food.
It's a muffin.
Yeah. So you eat muffins, Gabby?
Donuts, she said. Yeah.
You eat donuts. Okay. Because normally when somebody says I don't do sweets,
there goes that guy too. Look at that.
It's such a
Joey Monahan, Big Red.
Joey Monahan,
Big Red,
doing his thing.
Yep.
They say that. Oh, you know what? I should save that for next. Oh, you got a bunch of people going by. There's that smirk.
There's the smirk.
There's the smirk. I see it.
Yep.
Yeah, we're seeing it. So you guys can't see it, but we're looking at some of the team going by right now, and
they just got out of class.
The Tinkham smirk
Zach
was in full effect.
Tom DeFilippo, another one of our captains.
Yeah.
I
want to ask you about a couple guys before we get to the last segment, though. I want to ask you about you talked about catchings, and we spoke about a couple of the other guys, Cockrell and whatnot. Adam Busada, which sounds like an awesome Italian appetizer. A Busada.
I think he is actually part Egyptian too, so you might be related somewhere down the line.
Look at that.
Yeah. No, Adam.
Yeah,
Adam,
I can't date Italians because I'm related to all of them. My dad tells me when I'm leaving Christian Brothers Academy, that I had been walking by my cousin for 3 years.
Oh,
Petra
wow.
Feza, had no idea. Petra Feza, Nuzzo, Albino, Tortora, Cavino, Rada, all of us.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I realized that I'm related to almost every
everybody.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
That's
probably
pretty much-
related.
that's pretty much how it works. Yeah, we might be related too.
It is. I feel like every Italian is like a half a degree of separation. Like you just
Well, we call it paisan, paisani, paisano, it's like friend of the family kind of thing. So
Yeah.
like really, whether we're blood relatives or not, we're kind of related anyways. We're all from the same area.
Yeah, I think I've accepted you into my circle. I think you're there, Enrico.
For sure.
So let's talk about Adam Busada. What
I'd
can you
love
say?
to. Adam is tremendous. Adam is going to be, hopefully a guy that, moving forward to his junior, senior year is going to progress and grow into that guy that we expect is going to pick up the slack in the scoring. He's a guy that's instant offense. He gets into a game and he impacts it in some way. He's in between positions. He's learning a few different positions. So that's hard sometimes, his body type, he's a big physical kid. But he shoots the ball really, really well and one of our better pure shooters. But sometimes he's still, not really confident in whether he should attack or shoot or, he's still learning that growth and maturity process. So, but looking forward to the future, he's a guy that we're definitely going to be leaning on. And I think if I'm, estimating correctly, I believe in this playoff run here, he's going to have an impact for us. And
could be a little key ingredient.
Yeah,
there.
we've talked. He and I talked about it on Sunday. And just what we're going to need from him going forward, what we expect, and what he is capable of. And just do what you do and do it better than anybody else can do it. And if you do that, we're going to be okay.
Speaking here with Marywood Pacers men's basketball head coach Enrico Mastroianni here on wakeupcalldt.com, mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, and you're watching us on facebook.com/live-now-dt. I anticipate we're going to go a little bit past our normal 11 a.m. because we have to rapid fire it. Okay. So we're going into OT for this one. No, go. So we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. I have to shout out Jack DeGroot because I told you both, you and Gabby, that I am a child. And I will always have my childlike spirit. And Groot is my favorite guardian of the galaxy.
Oh, wow.
So whenever I see Jack DeGroot, that's what I picture Groot.
Well, we call Jack the Goat, actually.
I like that.
The guys kind of tagged that.
I feel like when he hits a shot, like a big time, like if he hits a big time shot in this game, I want him to look to the fans and go, I am Groot. Like I want that so bad.
We call him a killer, not in a bad way, but he's a stone cold killer. I mean, that kid, when he is on and he feels it, it's like there's nothing that's going to get in his way. He plays with a tremendous amount of effort and energy and confidence, and he's a guy that we rely on to. He's one of those guys off the bench that brings a spark, and he's a guy that we know. Is going to be one of the greatest when he's done here. I mean, we have the utmost confidence in him and his abilities, and we know moving forward that he's going to be special.
Jaden Roden accounted for 9 of the first 11 points in your regular season finale. That was here, the game I got to do in my return to courtside and watch him take over. He took over, then Ringland took over, then Roden took over again, then Ringland took over again. They were going back and forth as to see who was going to score more points.
And in the meantime, Tim Swartz quietly put up 16.
Right. and in the meantime, you played 12 guys, and you had 12 different guys score, right. And you had the 9 that were typically out there before you started to clear the bench. When 8 and 9 had scored, and then Catchings finally had scored because he was passing off first.
Yeah.
And they found him underneath twice.
Yeah.
Jaden Roden, his energy, and every time he attacks, whether it's a deep shot, inside, whatever it may be, he looks like he has the confidence of it's going to drop, it's going in. He has tenacity. He has energy. He makes it fun to watch. I feel like he's one of those guys that can play you into a championship game.
Yeah, no doubt. Jaden is a special talent. I mean, he's the guy that when the lights come on, so does he. It's hard to read sometimes because he's very calm, on the surface and things like, even in practice, he doesn't get too high, too low. He's just kind of like even keel. And then when the gameplay starts, it's like he turns up to another level that we didn't even know he could get to. And it's a fun experience to watch. It's great to have him, as a coach. I mean, obviously we worked really hard to have him here. Jaden originally went to a Division II school, scholarship school. We were recruiting him as a high school senior. We tried to get him here. We had him on a visit. Everything went really well, but when it came down to it, he had opportunities to play at a higher level and help the cost of tuition with the scholarships and then just from I don't know, whatever circumstances may have taken place. I don't want to speak for him, but it wasn't a good fit. It wasn't a good fit for him. And when he was looking back at where would be a good fit, what places should he be talking to, he reached out to us because he had remembered his visit here was pretty good, and our relationship was pretty good. So we're very lucky and fortunate to have him back. And honestly, he's been a major difference for us since conference play started. I think he's in the top maybe 4 in rebounding in the league. I mean, he's really done a tremendous job for us.
When something happens like that, when a player like Jaden Roden or anybody, you think you might get them, you're recruiting them, you want them, they go somewhere else, and then you get that second chance.
Right.
How beautiful, because life does not always give second chances.
Right.
How beautiful is the story that you wanted them, and as God teaches patience,
right,
you end up getting him. So you got him, then you think, okay, you want to get him, then you think, okay, well, we lost out on him, we got to move on.
Right.
And then life just happens to put a fork in the road again, and he chooses Marywood.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in fate, and I think things happen for a reason. And this is not the first time in my career that this has happened. We had another kid when I was at Centenary. I was the head coach at Centenary College, and had a kid that was a Division II kid, went to Nova Southeastern in Florida, Fort Lauderdale. We were recruiting him hard. We were all over, the process with him at every game as much as we could be, letting him know we really wanted him. Ended up going to Nova Southeastern Division II, wanted to take a shot, see what it was. It was a little bit too far from home. He was a North Jersey kid. He had a great relationship with us, with our staff. Came back, ended up being an all-conference player, and I think Jaden is along the same lines. I mean, he's actually even maybe more talented and special. And as a sophomore, what he's doing right now, he's playing with the maturity of a senior. So imagine what the future could hold if he could, continue to grow and develop his game. I think right now he's just doing this based on athleticism and talent alone. When you start putting in the work and really, honing in on your skills and fine tuning those things, sky's the limit for him.
Looking at this team right now, what would be some words to describe what you have right now? Because it just, life gets thrown at you, things happen, adversity happens, and this year, this team, like you said, 10-1 at home. I mean, best conference play ever, taking care of home court, getting a bye, being at home for the playoffs. There's all of this good that I feel the guys have to really lock in and see and understand. Just like I said to Gabby's team, who's going to beat Marywood if you don't want them to? Do you get that vibe from them? Are you feeling their emotion? Are they playing up for this? Are they trending upward, in your opinion? Can you feel that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
This team is special, and I've said that from day one. I mean, we had our fall break in Toronto. We started working out together back in September, towards the end of September, without Jeremy because he wasn't, with us yet. And even back then, I thought that this team could be really special. Once he made that decision to come back, I thought, that's the piece really that could put us there, that we could have enough firepower now to really do this thing right now this year. But like you said, adversity, circumstances, whatever, things that are out of our control, all we can do is control every day our approach, our attitude, and our response, and how do we respond to those circumstances? How do we approach the day? What's our attitude coming into practice, coming into the next game? And the guys have been resilient. I mean, that's really the best way to describe it. They're a resilient group, and they don't want it to end.
Has the culture, in your opinion, has the culture changed? Has it swung in your time here? do you feel that instead of this being, oh, we're just happy to be here, or, oh, we got this far, do you feel that it's different now because you had said to me after the regular season home finale that Tip had, or I think it was Chris Stefano that said it, that Tip, he said, oh, we gotta get one more because you had one more regular season game, and Tip was like, no, and he said, there's multiple games ahead.
Yeah, we got more games ahead. Yeah. No, they're focused. They know what's at stake, and yeah, the process and the culture you talk about, I mean, it is a process. You have to go through some things. And we talked to the guys last year. We had a tough loss in the playoffs last year, first round, but it was the first time we made the playoffs in 8 years, the program, and first time in my tenure here that we did. And, I said it's kind of like a rite of passage. You got to get there. You got to experience that. Maybe you have to lose to win, and looking ahead at this year, I think this team is poised to win. I mean, and we put ourselves in a position, we as a group, all of us, all 18 players and, 5 coaches, put ourselves in a position to be the number 2 seed and have a bye and play at home. And, we've got things that are aligned for us in our favor. Now it's just up to us to go out and execute.
I got to ask you about this before we wrap up this segment and bring Gabby back on. I spoke with Gabby about the opportunity she gave me, and I wanted to ask you because we didn't talk about this. Yeah. The opportunity to come into your locker room, and this is the night that I did it when everybody is, looking at this picture right now on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. As I said to Gabby, I don't feel like, those are the moments where I'm like, I don't deserve this. I'm just kind of fly on the wall. And you, I mean, you just said, I want you in there. Like, you're coming in the locker room. I want you to come in. You open the door. And I just stood there and I listened to you. I listened to the coaches. And then you gave the introduction. He created MU Courtside, did this, he did that. And I'm sitting there like, I don't deserve this introduction. It's kind of, hey, guys, how you doing? And then you asked me, would you like to say anything? What was your takeaway of that moment with the team? And did you take anything away from that? Because I like to critique myself. I like to go back and look at that because speaking to the women's team and to the men's team, I'm like, I want something to stick that lets them know you have all of our support. You can do this. Whatever that little piece is that you don't think you have, I want to give that to you.
Right.
So, I mean, what did you take away when I had the opportunity?
I think it's important, and I've been preaching this since day one here, that we continue to bring our alumni into our program. I know that you're not a men's basketball athlete alum, but you were a big part of this men's basketball program and the athletic department in general. And, just alumni in general to have some kind of a vested interest or stake in our success. I think it's very important for us for the future of our program. I want these guys in that locker room to know that when they become alumni and they go out into the world and they're having success, that they look back on these years here at Marywood and their time with our program and they say, yeah, that was meaningful to me. That was worthwhile. And that helped shape my life and my future. I apologize for this scene. It looks a little bit sulking. It looks like we lost. But honestly,
now they're all listening to you.
Well, what it tells me, and I look around there and what I see is, and I remember this moment because it was a big blowout win. We won by a lot. Everybody played. The last 7 minutes of the game was all bench, and it was not deflating, but it was like anticlimactic.
Oh yeah, I mean your team would have won by 40
right.
if you had kept your starters
going. It would have been bad. So when we came in here and it was like that, the scene, to me, what that meant was they aren't satisfied. It's not something that we should get real excited about. We expected to win like that, and so not that it was a letdown, but it was like, Coach, you really want us to get amped up about a 20-some point win when we could have won by 50? That's kind of the feeling, the sentiment in that locker room.
But the thing is, you want to pour it on. You want to keep going. You never want to tell your team to take it back.
What I want is that result. I want the guys to expect to win. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
And that's where we are, and can't ask for anything more than that.
But I want to thank you for that moment because, again, the unfilmed, non-recorded, like a moment like that, because when I got to do the dinner when you asked me to be the keynote speaker and I came back, when I had that opportunity, after that, every time I saw the players, they came up and they're like, how you doing? And they all remember, and like that meant the world to me. So then Tip was the first person to come shake my hand. And last year when I came in, I was in the locker room and they're just walking through and they smile and they're like, "Hi Dan, how you doing? Hi Mr. Sator, how you doing?"
Yeah.
And it's there's a feeling, and I've always felt connected to Marywood men's and women's basketball, but it's when you get to speak in the post game and you get to be a part of that and you get to talk to the guy. I mean, I love those. I mean, because to me, I looked at them and I said, you are doing something that I didn't get to experience. Like you are living in this world where what Marywood is today and what it becomes tomorrow is what you desire it to be. And you used to be the laughing stock. You used to be the easy win. You used to be, I can't wait to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania because we know that we're going to win. We're going to win by 40. That used to be the mentality. I want people to give you their best game.
Yeah.
I want them to be horrified. I want them to shake in their boots. I want their energy. When they're playing at Marywood or on the road or whatever it is, I want that feeling to be the feeling like our emotion during the women's game.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want. And I want this team to know and really know this. And I said it to Tip yesterday. I want you guys to know that every single one of you makes up this unit, the sum of its parts, like we were talking about. And whether it's Ringland's night or Rodin's night or Schwartz's night or Cockrell's night or Catching's night, whoever it may be, it doesn't matter because they're playing for a coach who tells you what he's going to do, does it, keeps his promises, does it the right way, surrounds himself with good coaches. And you came in here with a vision and a mission, and I will always root for people like you because you do it the right way. So I will speak in that locker room until I pass out if it's for Enrico Mastroianni.
I really appreciate that, Dan. And honestly,
because I know I pick on you, but it's because I like you.
I know. But honestly, it means a lot to me to have you continue to be part of this, and I think Gabby would share that sentiment and all of our former alums and future Pacer alums, to have people in your corner that support you, that rally around you, that want to see you win and succeed. It means the world to us. And for the guys to have you in the locker room to speak about that, I think the message that I take away from it or that I wanted them to take away from it, the reason I asked you to do it is just to share that experience about how special it is what they're doing. And I think, sometimes, like I said, their expectation is to win. They don't know losing.
Yeah.
So that's cool with us. But I'm a big believer in, we read history to learn from it, not to repeat it. So we need to know what our history was so that we don't ever go back to that. And, we're on the right path right now.
And you have the hashtag Pacers Never Stop.
That's right.
I would like the gentleman to also use the hashtag We Just Got Started.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Well, this year, our theme this year was Raise the Bar. And, we've done that. A year ago, like you said, program records, and this year, more.
Well,
records.
let me tell the men that I want the energy. I want the fans out here. I want another whiteout.
Yeah.
And if you can bring it the way that it was brought for Gabby and the crew, then you guys are going to have a hell of a game because that energy here, I wouldn't trade that for the world. It was so, and I know Gabby said she tunes it all out, and which is great. And that's a trained ear and you have to do that. But it was so much fun to be a part of that and to see that and to feel that. And I hope that you get that same piece of it.
Yeah.
And I really do. I hope that these guys know that there's no hanging heads. Like Marywood basketball should be the number 1 seed, is the number 2 seed.
Right.
And whether people are going to give you their best game or think that you're this or whatever it may be, them thinking less of you is an advantage. And them thinking we're going to give you the best. Well, you know what? In order to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah,
so, I think no matter what, this team needs to understand that the road goes through them.
No matter what circumstances, we're ready.
Yeah.
The guys are locked in. They're focused.
I got to do it.
Whether we were
I want the excitement. I want to feel like I'm still up
Yeah.
on the women's game. I want the men's game. I want to I don't want to go to the hospital, but I want to pass out. I want to have that moment where, because my grandma used to fake pass out.
Yeah.
She used to pass out. As you get older, they say if you have dementia, you act like a kid. And when she didn't want to do something, she would pass out. I want to have that I'm losing my mind. And I do hope you guys play on Thursday because Wednesday I couldn't get here.
Right.
But if you play on Thursday, what time would it be?
It's still 7. It was already moved.
It's
There
moved.
you go.
Okay.
You heard it here first. Our playoff
So-
game that was supposed to be Wednesday at 7 is now Thursday.
So there's a potential I could maybe weasel my way. Just maybe weasel my way down here. Just
hope
because I love my heart that much. I love the cardiac feeling,
Yeah.
but no, I just, yeah, I mean,
We're 1-0 so far with you in the building this year.
I know. I gotta be there. So we're gonna take a step aside. We're coming back with rapid fire. I know we're past 11, but under promise, over deliver. That's what we're about here at Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So we will be back on Facebook.com/live-now-DT. We'll be back on wakeupcalldt.com and mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. I've saved the good ones for last. Gabby's coming back, Enrico's coming back, and the rapid fire is on its way in just a moment. So keep it locked right here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Thank you. And Carrie said Wegmans Oreos, they are not Oreos. Exactly. See, and the thing is, because there's a bless her heart, one of our longtime listeners, Johnny, his wife, Erin, works at Wegmans. And she said, tell me something at Wegmans that isn't better than like the top brand. And I named a bunch of, I love Wegmans,
Right.
but I named a bunch of stuff. And she was sure on Oreos. And then Johnny said, what do you think? And I said, they're the closest thing to it, but they're not Oreos.
Yeah.
And then I asked around, but it was only men. And I said, I know what Erin's going to say. She's going to say, you didn't ask any women. Well, now for women, we're 100% Oreos.
Yeah.
For men, we're 100% Oreos. So Erin, it's literally just you. It's just you. We'll be back in just a moment.